Well, while I'm on the cheery fucking subject, might as well stay with it. It's called The Future of an Illusion. It's El Paso, Texas, and it's mid-August 1982. And it is so hot that the trees are chasing the dogs around. Muggy as donkey guts. And this must be where the devil goes on vacation, I think. Marooned in a brown Chevy van parked sideways in the alleyway, with one eye peeled for the cops. And I was having a conversation with a prostitute who was anchoring the bus stop bench, 40, with Gladys Knight lips and fading already. Her last words as she started to pass out was the proclamation that tonight she was going to smoke herself straight into hell, downhill, all the way. And then she rolled over on her sled as her feet fell asleep first, her cigarette dimmed, its slim, crack-laced surface tipped by a glowing cinder on the end. I was once shocked by an unconscious act of a dying man in near coma, awakened by the fear of a lit cigarette dropping onto his pillow as he dropped asleep, still puffing, both smoke and cigarette invisible, with the mouth still sucking. Death is the same, coming and going. He walks into the room beside the old man and lies down on the pillow. He leaves a hole, he doesn't say please, walks with a swagger and takes its toll, blows a smoke ring into the fan and watches it roll. And when the pieces fall apart and the old man succumbs, death smiles, feeling the rhythm skip out of nowhere. A cloud that's forgotten where it was supposed to blow and breaks into shards. And death swallows the old man whole. The spiritual master is a sky that remembers itself, like Vermeer and Delft, reducing all the world to a pearl earring. And that is why star after star opens its cylinder eyes and fires back at us with varied success. Because if God lived on earth, people would break his windows, egg his barely moving electric car, step on his road, call him a faggot and maul. But how tall is your defense? Even in the Bible, it's 6 to 5 against making it the sun up in the Old Testament. All of the eternal elements must balance, yet we forget. We are overwhelmed with nostalgic fragrances, the furniture of eternity, a house musty with anger, whose master moves like mist among the eaves. Woo! Thank you very much. You guys all right?
Yeah.
You okay?
Yeah.
Let's do an old. Let's do it. I'll do a big poem. This is called. Anybody know what Alabama Chrome is?
Yeah.
What?
Duct tape.
Fucking duct tape. That's right. Alabama Chrome is duct tape. And when you're on the road in a rock and roll band, we usually have one guy that's designated everywhere you go. He's got to do the idiot checks because wherever we leave, you know, you got. Being a front man for a rock and roll band is a little like being the captain of a pirate ship anyway. Because, you know, cats are rolling in town, they're going to take all the drugs they get their hands on, fuck, everything is not moved, is still moving. Or not moving, depends on what time of night it is. And then they got to check behind to make sure there's an idiot check, nothing's left behind us, right? Now always, the guy doing the idiot check has to make sure that he knows where the fucking duct tape is. Without duct tape, you gotta cease rolling. You gotta figure it out. This is called Alabama Chrome. I think I'll do some more blues. Help me into this one. This is an old, I want to do a little piece of blues. This is from 1929, the Great Sun House. It's called Death Letter. I got a letter this morning, how do you reckon it read? It said the girl you love is dead, got a letter this morning. How do you reckon it read? He said, hurry, hurry, boy. Girl you love is dead. Well, I grabbed up my suitcase, took out down the road. Lord, but when I got there, she was laying on a cooling board. Went down the road. Lord, but when I got there, she was laying on a cooling board. It looked like 10,000 people standing around a barren ground. I didn't know I loved my baby, Lord, that began to let her down. I said there was 10,000 people staring down. Oh, I didn't know I loved my baby. And they began to let my baby down. I said, I love my girl. I didn't know. She got a head note. Goethe says, there is no crime of which I cannot conceive myself guilty. It's hard to explain the Holy Ghost power ripping in a tongue, or a pig boiling in a vat of shine, duct tape holding together a Malibu, shading a dog asleep beside a possum skull chewed down to the bone, and the sheen on the tape on that Malibu is Alabama chrome. Still waters house cottonmouth nests and test the depths of an Easter baptism by a West Virginia coal mine apostle handing out holy roller popsicles and New Testaments too for $1. And his shoes have holes in the soles and carry a satchel with crosses made out of Alabama chrome. Pompadours signify a trickster made slicker with a comb full of axle grease. And trees stripped beneath the dozer like matchsticks rolled in the teeth of 14 illegal Mexicans handing tobacco in a ramshackle locust post lean-to. And the odor of fajitas that smells like home. And one has a 6-inch shoulder gash held together with Alabama chrome. Tattoos with more cover-ups than a DC barrister. Maimed fingers and feet and acetylene torches forming Jesus sculptures for sale in the Healing. 6 miles from the border, out of the trunk of a Buick Regal, whose busted quarter panel testifies to the enduring strength of a live oak growing alongside these sacred swamps, whose gentle nature relies the road sign on his trunk. Mile marker says 13 miles to go. It's formed by strips, Alabama chrome. Handsome warlocks, stripped to strip, strapped to strip malls and stripped by the perfection of the window shows, grow stories packed with prison grits and sugar tits and drop poison pellets from their raven beaks onto the lips of sun-streaked meth-pot blondes in the windy parking lots of ritualistic pawn shops and close-cropped, itchy trigger teeth gritted in the Marine recruiting station, whose volunteers choose grief over nothing, and shaving lotion in their sweaty palms help jack the microphones on the parade podium. Faulty wiring saved once again by a slab of Alabama chrome. First there's a funeral and a trial. Judges killing time with stretchy statutes, whose busted claws grow back in a generation like crawdads, whose only sin is proximity to poverty, and fractured fairy tales with family trees raised on probation and sentenced to speaking in tongues, are gigged on Confederate cinder blocks, cut and shot with Pentecostal backslides, artistic outlaw fanatics whose sexual gymnastics atop cigarette machines crack the secular windows of the gray institutions, and there is no reflection there shown with holes sealed over all these busted windows renovated with Alabama chrome.